Evidences of evolution. First is morphological evidences. Morphological means physical appearance. Observe these two pictures of animals and plants. In case of animal, the structure of mouth, position of eyes, structure of nostril, ear pinna and thickly distributed hair on a body are seen. It is similar in animal. In case of plants, the shape of leaf, leaf venation and leaf petiole are same, means they have come from common group of origin, which shows that they must have common ancestor. This is morphological evidence. Now we'll see anatomical evidences. Anatomical means internal structure of bone. If you see the picture carefully, there are no similarity between human hand, cat's foreleg, flipper of whale and patagium of bat. There doesn't seems to be any similarity, right? But the use of those bones in those animal is different. However, there is similarity in structure of bones and bony joints. This similarity indicates that those animals may have common ancestor. This is anatomical evidence. Next evidence is vestigial organs. Vestigial organs means degenerated or underdeveloped useless organ of organism. Such organs are non-functional in certain organism. It is useful in other organism. For example, tailbone. It is non-functional in human but it is functional in monkey. Next, appendix. Appendix is useless in human which is useful in ruminant. Similarly, muscles of ear pinna is useless in human which is useful in monkey for movement of ear pinna. These tailbone, wisdom teeth and body hair are the vestigial organ in human beings. Next is paleontological evidences. Paleontological means study of fossils. As large number of organisms get buried due to disaster like flood, earthquake, volcano, their remnant and impression are preserved underground. Remnant means left over, which is also called fossils. So, the study of fossils is an important aspect in study of evolution. Study can be done with the help of carbon dating method. In this, the consumption of carbon is stopped after the death and only decaying process of C14 occurs continuously. So after the death of plants and animals, the ratio between C14 and C12 changes continuously. It does not remain constant because carbon 12 is non-radioactive element. So with the help of this, the age of dead animal can be determined by calculating the radioactivity of C14 and the ratio of C14 to C12 present in their body. This technique is called as carbon dating and it is also useful in paleontological study and anthropological study. This is paleontological evidence. Next evidence is connecting links. Connecting means connection between two different groups. Some plants and animals shows morphological characters which are related to the two different groups. Hence they are called as connecting links. Example, Peripatus, which shows segmented body, thin cuticle and parapodia like organ. Also it shows tracheal respiration and open circulatory system similar to arthropoda. So, Peripatus shows the connection between Annelida and Arthropoda. This is called as connecting links. Now we'll move towards embryological evidences. It consists of study of embryonic development stages of various vertebrates. If you see in the given picture, the first initial stage of all embryo is same, but gradually it is different. So from this, the initial stage shows that they have common origin. Now we'll see important topic, Darwin's theory of natural selection. Charles Darwin had collected innumerable specimens of plants and animals. Innumerable means countless, and depending on those observation of specimen, he published a theory of survival of fittest. And with this only he published a book of Origin of Species. According to this theory, Darwin says that all the organisms reproduce prolifically. All the organisms compete with each other in life-threatening manners. In this competition, only those organisms are selected which shows essential modification for winning the competition. However, besides this, natural selection also plays an important role because nature selects only those organisms which are fit to live and rest are perished. These sustained and selected organism can perform reproduction and thereby gives rise to the new species with their own specific character. This theory was widely accepted for a long duration. However, there are some objections raised against this theory. Which are those? Let us see. First, natural selection is not only factor responsible for evolution. Second, Darwin did not mention any explanation about useful and useless modification. Third, there is no explanation about slow changes and abrupt changes. But still, Darwin's worked hard on evolution and his work was milestone. Next is Lamarckism. Jean-Baptiste Lamarck, who proposed that morphological changes occurs in living organisms, which are responsible for evolution. The reason behind this, those morphological changes is nothing but the activity or laziness of that organism. He called this concept as use or disuse of organs. Further, he said that the neck of giraffe has become too long due to browsing on leaves by extending their neck for several generations. Similarly, shoulder of ironsmith have become very strong due to frequent hammering movement. Next, the wings of the bird like ostrich and emu have become weak due to disuse. Legs of birds like swan and duck have become useful for swimming. Snake also lost his egg by modification in their life. All these are examples of acquired character and transfer from one generation to the other generation. Such type of characters are called inheritance of acquired character. This is what about Lamarckism.